Hello, today I'll be covering Introduction to Fractions. Now with fractions, there's a few things we have to learn, a few terms we have to learn first. You should be familiar, or at least like being able to identify a fraction like 1 over 4, or 1/4, 1/4. Well, with fractions, this 1 is called the numerator. So the top number is called the numerator. And the bottom number, the 4, is called the denominator. Now, I will be using those words throughout the next few sections, so become familiar with them. Now, just to start off, I want you to divide a circle into 6 equal parts and then shade 2 of them. Those are relatively equal. Now to shade 2 of them. There. 2 out of the 6 pieces total are shaded. So this represents the fraction 2/6. Now for example 1, I just want you to represent the fractions 3/5 on a rectangle and 2/3 on a triangle. Now remember how I said this was 2 out of the total 6. So the total number came from the bottom. So that means my denominator is 5. So I have to divide this rectangle up into 5 pieces. Oh, then it looks like let me make that a little more equal. There. And the 2 represent how many were shaded. So the numerator is 3, so I have to shade 3. Now the same with 2/3. The 3 represents how many parts I have to divide it up into, 3. And then 2 represents how many I have to shade. So 2 parts out of 3. Now, all these fractions that we dealt with over here are called proper fractions, where the numerator is smaller than the denominator. 1 was smaller than 4. 2 was smaller than 6. 3 was smaller than 5. And 2 was smaller than 3. But we do have improper fractions. This is where the numerator is the same or larger than the denominator. If that happens, the fraction we have is greater than or equal to 1. And let's represent this with example 2. Represent the improper fraction 6/4 with circles. Well, since I have to split the circle up into 4 pieces, because that's my denominator, I can't get 6 pieces out of one of them. So I drew another circle and divided that into 4. No matter how many circles you make, you always divide them into the same number of pieces. In this case, the denominator is 4. Then we shade it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now seeing how 6/4 is bigger than 1 total, I hope you can see that improper fractions will always be greater than or equal to 1. Now graphing fractions on a number line. How you graph fractions on the number line is you take the 1 unit and divide it up into the denominator. Now let's start this out with example 3. I want you to graph. So 2/3. 2/3 is a proper fraction, so it's less than 1. So that's why I only have from 0 to 1. Now what I meant is that we have to divide this interval into equal parts according to the denominator. The denominator is 3, so I have to divide it up into 3 equal parts. So 1 part, 2 part, 3 parts. Now I need to go 2/3. So if I start at 0, This is 1/3, 2/3, and a solid dot. Now, when you get to an improper fraction, you have to go farther than 1. So it might be a good idea to split several of the intervals up into 3 parts and then count. So 7/3 is an improper fraction. So I'm going to take several intervals, because I don't know how many I will need, and split it up into 3 parts. And that's all I have on the number line. Now you just start at 0 and count 7 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's how you graph improper fractions. I hope this was useful. Have a good day.